both software upgrades and new softwares. So these softwares mainly are being used by software developers or producing other softwares. So this conference is mainly for the developers so that they can understand the various upgrades or new software that Google have in place for them. So, like the slogan for Google I/O simply means innovation in the open. So they like making their innovation open to various developers. So that's what Google I/O is all about. So, and today, we, the GDG developers, other developer in Owerri, we want to also like come together and also talk about global technology and how we can use it in our various developments. All right, so another thing we have here is understand what global I/O is. And so, what would you be expecting from this event? Okay, I don't know. Before I continue, I don't know if we are still here. I think I would like us to like have a brief, everybody like introduce yourself, just like 10 seconds. So, like, okay, let's know each other. You understand? Before we continue, since we are very few here. So, I'll start with Sam.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to IO Extended. So I'm Kosan Chichikudama. I am a Microsoft Student Ambassador in Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and I'm also recently an intern at Artificial Technologies. Thank you.
Wow, welcome, boss.
Good afternoon, everyone. John Alvin, I'm an Android developer. Nice to meet you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ellis Will. I'm a mobile developer.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abadi Belevi. I'm a new front-end developer.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cynthia. I'm a front-end developer. Nice to meet you.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel. Back-end developer. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm a developer.
Hello, everyone. This is I'm going to machine learning together. Currently, hi, I'm 60 from Nigeria. I'm a freelance software developer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Spencer. Software.
Okay, guys. So I believe.
I've not said anything. I can't remember. I've not said anything.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we are currently introducing ourselves.
Hello everyone, glad to know myself. Something in your case here. Hello. Nice to meet you.
I will let you know my says I very like
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Opera Frankie. And yeah, thank you, Opera.
Welcome, Opera Franklin. Thank you, sir. All right, so let me continue. So, what are we expecting from this event? So, every announcement from Google Developers Conference. So, what we're expecting from this event is simply we'd like to talk about some Google technologies, especially the ones that have been announced this year. Though it was virtual, so as you can see, this is a video. This is Google CEO when he's opening the Google I/O event this year. So it was virtual. Only few people attended. So unlike other previous years, whereby the developers all over the world have been invited. So we talked about some new things that they need to back on, and the new updates for various softwares that people currently have, and many other exciting things. So with that, I believe that all of us here at least have an idea of what WIO is. So on that note, I'm going to kick off the event with the first speaker. So the first speaker will be talking about Flutter. I don't know, we have mobile developers. We all know that Flutter is the global technology used in building mobile apps. You can use this for web apps. You understand? Even desktop. So it's a good technology. This is more like giving you an insight of how Flutter is and some of one important concept or two important concepts about how Flutter is. So you on your own part, you can easily look into it on your own and see whether it's something that you find interesting or something that you can easily impact on. So on that note, I'll be calling on the first speaker. Okay. So the first speaker will be speaking on state management in Flutter using provider. So I don't know, most of us here are front-end developers, so you all know how difficult it is to manage state in your applications. So it's really a very, very important concept when it comes to state management. So in Flutter, we manage state as well. So I'm a Flutter developer. So you manage state in Flutter. So manage state in Flutter, you have various packages that help you develop. This one we are going to talk about an important package that is used in managing states effectively in Flutter. So on that note, I'll be calling our first speaker in the person of Edison Webo, who is a software engineer slash mobile developer, one of the best Flutter guys I've ever come across in this world. So it's very, very good. So you'll be now telling us or teaching us something about state management in Flutter. So, Sir Ellis, welcome to the stage.
Once again, good afternoon, everybody. Don't mind hosting. It's practically better than me in using the Flutter SDK.
Okay.
I'll be talking about state management in using state management in Flutter. How you can manage states when you're using an app using Flutter. And the package I will kind of focus on is the provider package, which was the recommended package for managing states in Flutter.
No, let's go down. No. Just click here. What you click here to come up. What's up? Go out.
Or we just comment.
Let me click this.
So when we talk about state management, what is state management? An illustration I'll use is just imagine all of us now in this particular hall. Now every one of us is seated down on a stand. Some people are talking on the other side. So this is kind of a life illustration of what the state is like. If you're sitting down, that is the state you're in. Manage each and every one of variables, variants. This is like a container in an app, like a activity for native developers. This is an activity. And now we are trying to see, okay, we create, we kind of want to know what the variable variance is doing. So we can now see that it's sitting. So that is the state that variable is in. So that is what state is like, an overview of it. So what's disposition or what is a variable or whatever you're using in your app that you need to use and display on the UI? what is its current, what is the current activity, what is the current action that variable is in. So
Just click on that. Just click on the top. Yes, that one. Go to the next slide.
all right, so sorry. That was this is just an overview of what I just explained now. So when you talk about UI is just what's this the UI it doesn't matter that UI is this particular hub. What does this hub like? Like the UI. And what determines how the UI changes is when as I'm moving now, I'm changing my states. Doesn't matter that this place now the UI now, I'm changing my state as I'm moving. So currently I'm moving, so the UI should reflect that me, the variable LS, is moving in that activity. So when it comes to states in Flutter, there are two types of states. There's the ephemeral state, which is the local state, and then there's the app state, the application state or global state. Now when it comes to the first one, local states, it's not exactly what I just explained here now. Imagine this is a container, like apps have different screens. You can have a screen where you log in, the login screen, and maybe like let me use this. Okay, let me use YouTube. When you go on YouTube, you have on your phone the mobile version of YouTube. When you click on when you go to the home screen, you just see different clips of videos, different like on the list view, see different components, video components. And when you click on it, you actually go to another screen that now plays the video. So you have different screens. So when you talk about local states, you're just talking about something contained within an activity within the screen, as we are in this form now. We are just anything that is happening here. Clarence sitting down, you sitting down where you are, that is the state of a particular variable or something you're observing. That's the current state in that activity. Then we now talk about an app state. An app state is something that stretches across screens, different activities. Now, this form now, what is happening here? Probably the next office behind us is another screen, so something is happening there. So that is an app. That is what we call an application state. Now, in an application state, you're trying to like propagate data from this hall now into the next one, to the opposite hall. You understand? You're trying to like know what is Clarence doing in this hall. You want to know what Clarence is doing in this hall from the next hall. Almost like this live stream we're doing now. The people that are on that end. Well, all right, the people watching on the other end are kind of trying to know what is going on here. So they're kind of propagating data between two activities. Now, this is an overview of what I just explained. Now, how Flutter helps you to manage the local states? How Flutter helps you to manage local states? Flutter has what we call stateful widgets, and they gives you access to the set states. Now, in Flutter, we have basically two types of widgets. We have the stateless widgets and the stateful widgets. Now, just like the name implies, the stateless widgets doesn't actually handle states. It just renders a component. It just renders a UI. That's what it does. Then the stateful widgets is what gives you access to be able to change probably a variable in that activity and reflect that change in the UI using the set state that is exposed to you. Now, a typical example of is the app using that is managed using a local status. When you create a new Flutter project, it first it generates an app for you. You can call it a counter app that just generates the text and the button. So when you click on that button, the number there increases by 1 anytime you tap on the button. So that particular activity, that whatever is happening there, it just managed in that particular state. it's just like I illustrated earlier for us, just everything happening in a single hole. Now, this is what I talked about. So when you create a new Flutter app, you like what we have here. We have this is how we know that this class now is a stateful widget. Is that it has it extends this the states. It extends states, which now gives you stats. That's which I talked about the set state. So if you notice there, we declare a variable called counter. We declared an integer value, an integer variable called counter, which was set to 0 by default. They will now declare a method which we call increment counter, and we cannot read through the comments there. But what the method does is that it just sets the state. So anytime this method is called, it increases the counter value by 1. And how it does that is by calling that set state, which now tells the UI that it needs to update what is being displayed, so the user can know that the value has changed. So now, this how Flutter works. Flutter is it's not like a Lego block. It's just about widgets, and it comes predefined with many widgets for you. So we're actually using the text widget to display that text there. You have pushed the button this many times, and we now I'm now like the next text widget now shows the value of the counter. Then if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you see what we declared as the floating action button, which you can see here. So that floating action button will now say on press, we now call that method actually define up. So what it does is that anytime we click on the button, the counter value is incremented by 1. And since that method calls set state, it now tells the UI that it needs to repaint the value, that it needs to update the value of that variable. When you click on the button, it now increases the value by 1 and you get to see it. Now, when we're talking about the second type of state we have, which is the application state. Like I said earlier, when you're talking about an application state, you're talking about propagating variables, propagating data between different screens, between different parts of your app. You know, like different parts of the app, like imagine where you're on WTM, click on it and you go to your PCB, you take your watch history, you're going between different parts of the app. And most times, if you want to, you might have like the notification. Let's say you watch the video and you commented on it, and someone really likes that comment you made, maybe you reply to your comments. Once you open your YouTube app, you see normally at the top right, you see a notification icon. Normally, you might see a count of like 1, 2, 3, depending on how many notifications you have. Now, if you notice, whenever you're going into any other part of the app, you still see that notification there. So that is just an example of what we call, that is an example of that app state, which is a long version of this application state. You're just kind of sharing data or passing data across multiple screens or multiple UI. So an example of an application state, just like I just said now, the notification in the social networking app, user preferences. User preferences can be maybe like a user prefers to use light theme on an app, or you prefers to use the dark theme. So you need to be able to have a way of keeping track of that user's choice. When you have decided I want to use light theme, the color theme I want to use on your app is the light theme. You need to have to track that the user has selected to use light theme when the user is navigating to other screens in that app. Also, we have like an example can also be in the shopping cart. If you use probably Amazon, Jumia, or Konga to shop, any other shopping platform, you'll notice that anytime you click on an item you buy and you wish to buy, you can add that item to cart. And normally at the top right of the screen, depending on how you implemented the design, you see the cart icon will show that you added an item down to 1 or 2, depending on how many you add. So when you're going to create different screens, you browse on other products. You browse on other products. You browse on other products, you still see that cart count carries across different screens. So that is the application space we're talking about. Alright, so now that brings us to the one part of everything now. You provide a package to manage states. And the state I'm talking about is not the local state, because local states, what already provides a very good solution for you, which is what I talked about when I said the stateful widgets and the set states that are exposed to you. But now we are trying to now manage managing the state of your app across different screens. And why this is important is imagine if this is how we are in now. Imagine if there's a cinema in this hall too. You understand? And there's a small shop and everybody is just doing everything inside the same place. As I'm trying to give this little lecture on this state management and other things are happening. You know that you get distracted very easily because so many things are happening in one place. So most times you still need to, when you're them app, you need to spread your concerns depending on what a particular widget or a particular component should do. You kind of spread what you need to do across multiple widgets or multiple spreads because you can't handle everything in the same place. Imagine the YouTube app. If you just come to the YouTube app, see your videos playing, see history, everything on just one screen. It's crazy. So what provider helps us do is just to help us manage state and propagate data, to be able to transmit data to different parts of the screen that needs that data. And how provider works is that it inserts the widgets into the widget tree that holds the variable states. What this means is that you declare your provider and you wrap your app. You know, most programming language have like an entry. On Flutter we have the main that is the file that is the first method that is run when the app is called. So what you do is that you wrap your entry into your app, which is the material app that can depend. So you wrap it to the provider and now provide and give a reference what you want the other children or other activities, other screens that come after the main material app, which is how you understand the Flutter project. Kind of wrap it with your provider so that any of the children that needs access to that data, not as we are now. If someone needs access to what is going on here, maybe over the internet or the next hall, you have to find it. You not wrap this building. I know it's kind of a funny reference, but you wrap the building with the provider so you can actually have access to that data, another partner needs it. Now, when it comes to provider, there are very two basic concepts that you need to get started. You need to understand how to use the package, what you want to do in managing your states. Now, the first one is the chain notifier provider, and the consumer. Now, this is not all provider offers you. Provider offers you a whole lot more. But starting with this, you can get to understand the foundation of what the provider package is and how it can actually help you manage states. Now, when it comes to the chain notifier, the chain notifier is a class that is included in the Flutter SDK. This chain notifier is not part of the provider package. It's actually part of the Flutter SDK. It comes with Flutter. Now, what it does help you do is that it helps you when you extend the class, when you extend chain notifier, it helps that when something happens in that class, any other widgets that needs access to the variables controlled inside this chain, inside any class that extends this chain notifier, can listen to those changes and know when they occur, and now they review the UI to display those changes. You understand? Like anybody that's as I'm talking, and anybody that's listening to this and is subscribed to this stream, you understand, can get to know what is happening because the person is subscribed. So the person is listening to what is happening, so the person can get access to it, maybe via the internet or something. So that is what change notifier kind of does for you. So when it comes to chain notifier provider, it's a widget that provides an instance of the chain notifier to its senders. What that means is, just like the name implies, chain notifier provider, when you create a class that extends the chain notifier, you understand? Now remember that class is what's going to hold our variables, going to hold the states our variables is at. So but you now need a way to provide that class to put that class to other places that needs it. That is when the chain notifier provider comes in. It provides an instant that class you've created, that you've implemented, you've declared how the variables and the states they hold, or the values they hold. That chain notifier provider now takes that class that extends the chain notifier. I mean, the chain notifier provider now takes the class that extends that the chain notifier and now provides it to other parts of the screens that need it. Now, the last one is the consumer. Consumer is just exactly what the name implies. It just consumes the data, consumes the value of what the variables are. It just consumes it, and the beautiful thing about consumer is that it's listens when you wrap the part of the app that needs that state. It listens to changes and consumes the data. Just takes whatever has changed and displays it. So that's what the consumer is all about. Now, when you want to use your provider, Flutter offers a very beautiful ecosystem and a way to actually get access to all these packages. Now, only when you don't go to pub.dev, you see numerous packages that can be used in Flutter, your apps. And the example is the npm.js, something, where when you're building an app studio on web, you can get your various dependencies. So Flutter also offers something similar, which is called pub.dev. Once you just go there, but what I just did now is that I included the provider package in my dependency for this project. And the version I'm actually using is 4.0.3. So when you actually insert this dependency, when you insert the package, it's your pub.spec.yaml file, which comes with every Flutter project. So you just put the dependency and make a Flutter get, call it pub gets. You can make it through there, or you go to your tools, Flutter, and make and click on Flutter pub gets, or you can type into your terminal Flutter pub gets. Now download that package or download the dependency for you. So now this is the remember when I talked about the two basic concepts you need to understand when you're using the provider package. Now we are now kind of extending the chain of file. This is the class that is going to hold the value of what we want to propagate to other parts of the screen. Now, this what I just did here is that the first illustration I showed you when we talked about local states, when you saw the text and the floating point where you can click and implement the value of the counter value. I just swapped it out and I'm actually implementing it using the provider. So I just still declared the value which I called counter value, which is an integer value that starts at 0. Then I implemented the getter to get the value of that counter value. I'll explain that further later. Then also declare a method that just increase the value of anytime any object or anything calls this method, it just increments the value of the counter by 1. So now this is the main .dat file. So what we did here is that if you notice here we wrapped our material app with a change notifier provider. That change notifier provider I talked about, we wrapped our material app. Now while we wrapped our material app, everything once any Flutter project, any Flutter app always runs the main.dat for that one runs. So we are now wrapping our entire widget stream. We are wrapping it with the chain notifier provider, and we're not telling you that the provider you particular object we're interested in is this object called my provider. So we also declared a class. This is the first screen that will be shown when you launch the app. So how we can get a reference to the provider is that we can declare that in the view method. The view method, and if you notice now, it swaps our stateful widgets for stateless widgets. Now the reason why we did this is when it comes to performance in apps, you don't need something that if something is not going to change its state, you don't really need to use a stateful widget and just use a stateless widget. What a stateless widget means is that you're just declaring the UI. You're not really interested in the state, you're just declaring the UI. So remember when I made reference to the two types of widgets you have in Flutter, the stateful and the stateless. The stateful gives you access to the set state method which you can call when you want to change a is something that is displayed on your UI. So now we now got an instance. We now created a variable called my provider, which we now get an instance of my provider. That class extended the chain notifier. We're now getting an instance of it by using the context. Get an instance of this. That class now, the instance of the class and everything every method of variable that class exposes is now contained in my provider variable. Now, further in that particular class, we now have just the normal stuff, the text that is going to display the counter value. You still have the action button. Now, if you notice on the text, we now wrap the text with the consumer. Now, if you remember what I told you before, the consumer just takes whatever is contained in the change, the file that extends the change notifier and makes it available to the widget that needs it. Now, I wrapped this text, but the only place that is going to change in value is that text that is displayed. That I want when the button is clicked, I want the value to go up by 1. So that is the only place that actually needs to listen to that class that extends the change notifier. So now, if you notice, the consumer comes with the builder, which has the context counter, something I call counter and child. Now, in this particular example, the very simple basic example. In this particular example, we actually don't need the context. If you notice, this is where the consumer started, and this is where it ends. If you notice, we're not using the context anywhere. We are not using the child anywhere. So I just left it here to be able to explain to you that what it means. That context, you don't need it for now. So normally what you do is you just replace it with another stuff, a dash, like another stuff. And maybe the type with the double dash, just to tell the provider package that you're not actually using that those values. Now, where you actually use it for the child, where you actually use it is now imagine that notification I talked about, like on YouTube, where you have notification on the top right of the screen. Now imagine in that notification, if you notice, the only thing that will actually change when something happens is the notification count. Let's say a new notification comes, we are increasing the value from 1 to 2. We are only changing that text. We are not changing the icon that is already there. So it's not a place to optimize your app. If you know that you're only going to change the text, you can just wrap that text with the consumer. Then use the child that this consumer provides to now declare that icon. It will be the shopping cart icon, it will be the notification icon. Now declares. What that does is that when there's a new change to the value that this consumer is displaying on, it only reduces text, but it doesn't rebuild the icon. This is just for optimization purposes. So now going down to the floating action button where you have the press method, what happens when you press the floating action button? We now remember we declared an instance, we got an instance of that provider that gives you access to the class that extends the chain notifier. So we're just calling that, and I declared it as my provider, that's what I call provider. So remember that when we declared that class that had that extended chain notifier, we had a method called increment counter. So we now have access to it, we now say increment counter. And once you click on it and it increases the value of that counter, the consumer the text that is wrapped to the consumer now gets to show, reflect that change that just happened. Now we are taking it a step further. Now remember, this is still our provider class that extends chain notifier. We just added it more method and variable. Now I added the counter value that has a zero still remains. I added a new variable called number of addition to keep track of how many times we click on an add button. I also declared another variable that starts at 0 to keep track of how many times we click on the subtraction button. Then I just declared getters for all of them. Then I declared a new method increment counter, which now reduces the value of that counter by 1 anytime it starts. And if you notice, there's something called notify listeners after the variables the addition or subtraction needs to be made has been made. I call a method called notify listener. That notify listener, what it does is it tells any class that is listening to the value of these variables, just tell the class that a change has happened. You've been notified. So what the class does is now say, okay, the change has happened. It will now
create and show the new value of the variable that we are listening to. Then I also declared another method that resets all the value. It's going to, when you click on that, when this method is called, all the value, if you click on the button 20 times, it's going to reset it back to 0. Wherever the value is to go back to 0, which is what I set there. And then we notify this now to now tell the class listening to the values of this class that the values have changed and it's going to now reflect it in the UI. So this is we've now made an adjustment to our UI. If you notice, remember we created the method add and subtract, so I added an extra button for the minus, and also added the button here. This button, what this button looks like, take us to a new screen or a new activity in the app. So if you notice, we now have two floating action buttons down, two floating action buttons. The second one now implements a decrease counter method, which now decrease the value of the counter when it is split. And we have an elevated button at the top side of the screen, which just navigates to a new screen that I've created. The screen is called, I call it screen 2. So it just navigates to the second screen. Now, if you click on this button, so take note of the value. You click on this button about 5 times. So actually, I click on it about 8 times or so. Then also click on the subtract button. Why I did that is that we declared variables that will keep track of how many times we click the addition button and how many times we click the subtraction button, while still keeping track of what the counter value is. So now this is the next slide, the next screen. So the next screen, I also declared I use the coding to declare 2 text widgets, which just displays your push the add button on a number of times. And if you notice in the text widget here, I made a reference to using the consumer, which I now have access to what is happening in the class I send to notifier. And I have access to the value of the number of times, the number of additions that the person has made. And in the next text widget, I have the number of subtraction that the person has made. So what this does that those extra 2 variables I declared, that's keeping track of the addition and subtraction. This is how many times you actually push the addition button. And this is the amount of time to push the subtraction button. You actually push the addition button 5 times, but which increases the value of that counter 0 to 8. Then we now click on the subtraction button 3 times, which reduces it back to 5. That is why you saw 5 in the previous screen. But how many times did we actually click on the addition and subtraction button? That is what is stated here. And I also have a button here called reset counter. Remember, we also declared a method that resets all the value of that part of those variables in that class. The class that extends the change is fine. We now set it to 0 and now call on notify listeners, which now tells any class that these values are exposed to. Tells the class that the value has changed, and the class now change updates the UI to reflect that change. So if you notice at the bottom side of the screen where you have an elevated button, this button. Now in the on-press method we call my provider.set counter value, which is the method we declared in the class that extends the change provider. So once you click on the button, now these are the 2 screens. This is the first screen, the home screen, the first screen, and the second screen I created. Once that button is clicked, it's going to reset both the numbers of additions we've made and the numbers of subtractions we've made. It will set it to 0. And it will be reflected here immediately because these 2 texts is being wrapped with the consumer, which now exposes the value of those of the value variable we declared in the class that extended the chain of file, which is the my provider class, which now of this line this is set to 0. If you go back to the previous screen, that counter that was at 5 also resets to 0. Now you see what we've done here. We have an app state that's a state that is managed that is used in one part of our screen, but we also need it in other places. Now by wrapping our material, our app with the provider, we now have access to those information across different screens. Now, when it comes to state management is a complex topic to talk about. In any language you're using this to build, we have to be docs, using more nets or whatever. it's complex because it has one thing with state management is most times it's advisable to go with what you're comfortable with. But the thing, the further thing, look at the provider package and saw how easy compared to some other solutions out there, how easy it was to implement and how effective it was, and actually adopted this as their recommended state management solution for further. So what I just give you guys now is a very, very simplified way, just a simplified illustration of how to do the provider package. There are a whole lot more you can do. You have the stream provider, which I used to provide streams of data to different aspects of your widget tree. We have future provider, which are many planning. I used to provide the promise, the future variable to different parts of your widget tree. So we have proxy provider, which I used to like combine the values of two provider and use it. There are so many things you could do with it. But what I gave you guys is the basics that can get you started to understand how the provider architecture works. Now, other solutions we have there is block pattern, business logic component also. This is another one I really like. And we have River Forge. And the creator of the provider is actually the person that also created the River Forge package for managing state in Flutter. We have Redux, which if you're already used to using Redux in your React app for those that are web devs, you can actually it's easier for you to just migrate and be able to use this Flutter projects. Now you can read more about the provider package by going to Pop.dev. Go to Pop.dev, just type in provider in the search bar. You're looking to be the first result that comes out. Click on it. It's not well detailed documentation that will really teach you any other thing you need to know about it. So that is provider package. Sure. Now, the provider package doesn't give you the promise of on how to architect your app. When it comes to planning your app, especially for scale, when you have potentially have a lot of users using the app. So, one beautiful thing about the provider package is that you use it with the different architectural partners you have, MVC, MVP, NDPM, and the rest. You can use it to kind of architect your app in a way that can scale and it's easily tested. When the provider works, it's easy to write unit tests for your app to test that the different level and different parts of the app working how it's supposed to be. So it doesn't. What you need to do with the provider is just assist you in developing a better architecture for your app. All right, that's the provider package in a nutshell. I was going to say something, but what about it? I remember it all. So thank you everybody for listening to me. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Sir Dennis, for the wonderful lecture. I know most of us are what the hell is this kind of thing? So I know Flutter is a global technology, and what we are currently doing now is a global event. So I know most of us are not Flutter developers. So, but if you're a Flutter developer, this topic is a very important topic that you need to know and understand. You really enjoy it if you're a Flutter developer. But if you're not a Flutter developer, this is your customer get around Flutter. This topic also encourages you to go out and check out and look out for Flutter dogs and how you can easily get started. Flutter is really a nice technology to look into. It allows you to do amazing stuff. So thank you, Mr. Ellis, for giving us this wonderful lecture. We really appreciate it. So I think now, so the next thing we're going to look into now, we're going to listen to our keynote speaker. So he is a GDG expert, government developer expert. So he's a high school. So he will speak to us eventually. So the lead is going to play the script for us. So we'll just listen to him and hear what he has to tell us. I had a question. Okay, sir. Before why did I do that?
Actually, I have those two questions. The major one is copy native. Does it have any? Does it have any right to copy native? I know you're in the two front and copy is pushing copy. Is there any? I don't like talking about platform, really talking about well, you know, Google is a very big company, so definitely they have different teams working on different softwares. So for Kotlin, people have not really pushed Kotlin onto the platform. They've not pushed the way they're pushing further. So I don't really know much about that, but I know that natively they're pushing Kotlin to replace Java written codes. Because Kotlin offers more kind of more concern and robust system. Things like coding, which is for me a very beautiful way of managing doing complex tasks on different trades. But not really different trades. But when it comes to cross platforms, it really pushes Flutter. And one of the things about Flutter is it uses or remove that complexity when you're trying to create native Android apps. Where you have to like plan for different screen sizes, have to export maybe your in assets for different screen sizes. So with Flutter, because of the way Flutter works, it renders wide on screen. Now it eliminates that need for, doesn't really give the headache of trying to imagine how large or small the screen is and what you're trying to fit. You read it at once you support that already gives you an advantage when you try to support multiple screens. So no, I don't know what about what Google is planning for what platform. I know that they're really pushing Flutter, and Flutter team are really pushing the platform.
And they on the phone, are they private method? I chose to make them. I chose to make them starting on the phone.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't talk about that. Now, you know, when you're building native apps, especially with Java, when you want to declare a private variable, you usually have a keyword for that private. Once you declare private, it's only within that class. It's only the class that the variable is declared that have access to it. But with Flutter, it's not a little bit easier that you just use underscore. It's attached to the variable name to declare a private variable that only the class have access to.
And then you want to yes.
Only I use both PS and both address. Because I've not really implemented both PS and both of them works.
Thank you, sir, for answering the question. So we are going to so we're still talking about food because food is let's say an amazing product. So we are all this is GDG Global Developers Group. You understand? So what we're talking about should be global products and food is one of them. So we are going to these are keynote speaker for today. We're also talking on talking about Flutter. So let's listen to it.
Excusing us if you were actually.
Okay, so I know most of us are bored because the video is a boring video, so it has a lot of content. And people are in Yoruba. People are in yeah, so I know that most of us there we don't write stuff, so this is like all the years. So we're going to stop the video for now. So let's try to like do other directions. So currently now we're going to have a breakout session. So like talk to each other, try to talk to each other, exchange numbers. The best thing that is right now, the best thing is try to do the best. Then while we are doing that, we're going to have a little refreshment. So it's almost 2 o'clock. So we have to do the refreshment. So just go in and we'll now come back for the next session. So can we just start off, try to move around, talk to the person beside you. What are you doing to mobile development? What is machine learning, blockchain? So while we are doing that, we are going to have to do questions and continue
Guys, this is the book.
For now. Until I try to stop again. Waiting be this. How many times? No. I'll try to snap, but I don't know whether you like to snap them. I'll try to snap.
welcome back to the breakout session. Hello. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Excuse me. Hello. Hello, okay, welcome to the breakout session. I hope you all have fun. Last thing on people, we have like second question. Just like, this is the first one. The second question is just relax. What is the charge? Okay, so so we are going to the next session will be a examination session, just like complete so just have a little quiz. The winners of the quiz like go home something. So maybe the head, I don't know if you want so I want to do something now. I want to go. Okay, how many mobile developers do we have here? Mobile developers, mobile developers. 1, 2, 3. Mobile developer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, mobile developer. Okay, web developers. Web developers. Web developers. Okay. Back-end developers.
Oh, you don't know? It's true. It's shocking. Whoever owns this, I want to give this here. Right? That's just like, that's just what if you can work on the mobile and make the lot work in mobile? Which logic they mobile? Why the logic they mobile? Sorry. Mobile developer. I don't know that I need the right part of the mobile developer. Yeah, but you want to look at those people, you package it. Yeah, so that's the I know, but Okay, today we are going to more about Flutter. So Flutter, okay, actually when I said to learn Flutter, that was last year or last 2 years, I don't know. Yeah, last year. So you have to learn. So okay, so learning now. So
I said sports, I was like, I don't like content. I don't like content. Anything I'll make me to like do change color, change position, go left, right corner. I don't like it. But when I said sports, I saw and I realized that content is also easy. You understand? You see it and it comes, there's a kind of joy that comes. And my knowledge of this trap really helped me when I was learning sports. Because was like, what are now with goals and goals?
I use my
so you can, you know how
I use my
to understand the concept of goals and goals of this trap. Go a long way, definitely like so when I was learning sports, I had like it was not really of course actually it was along the way. If you like okay, this is not my body. Like I do tell very clear that sometimes I say if I do the same shit,
I'm not sure if
so of course I deny technology is there. Because the nice technology the trend is growing very fast. So if you are learning Flutter, you have you will
let's try. Are
the
you
chance of getting employed very high. So you can never buy 2, 3 things. So if you start now, you look into 3 of these stuff. And the good part of it is that you can use
I use my
yes. Not necessarily that you will be someone Android use. I don't Android for you to run Android, at least your system configuration will be a little bit higher. But it's VS Code, you can easily install VS Code and you can run a regulator of VS Code and do your Flutter. So Flutter is really
actually 6 digits. Oh God.
So during your free time, maybe you don't have anything to do, or maybe you are very busy, you can just go to the presentation.
That end, that's the do that chair did.
Hello world. You can see the art so we have to yourself. Yeah, so that's about what also has other technology. Yeah, you can talk into AI, machine learning, so we don't have anything from that. So we can also like okay, I said at the end of this section or the end of this event, I will share a link. So on that link, you see the resources God gave out, so that you can look into those resources and identify a particular area where you can easily look into and start learning. We have areas like mobile development, we have those AI and machine learning, we have web technologies, web analytics for lifestyle and all that. Then you have professional applications, making your web application to be the function offline and all that. So we have technologies that don't be used that way, that you can leverage on and implement all these functionalities. So by the end of this section, I'm going to like share resources on this thing so that you can look into them and study them. They really help. So Google is a very big company and Google supports and improves their products. So if you are leveraging on Google technology, you have a strong platform. Alright, so I'm going to invite Mr. He's my boss, software engineer at Patricia. So he's a backend developer. So we'll be helping us with the whole session. The first session, so we just ask questions. We log in and answer. The winner, I go like I said, mine. I'm not very sure. So but just try your best to win. So our lead here, our lead is a very generous person. My best to give the best 100K. Shout. The person don't try your best. You ask my questions
Wait,
I don't know. I want to talk about it. What are we going to do? Okay. Are you ready? Okay. So what This thing get adapter when I use plug.
Why?
I won't even use that.
I'm going to play this game.
But with the game show on your screen, if
If you not sure what you need, yeah,
with the question show,
yeah, compare
yeah, give me just the game.
Don't switch.
But the port is not going to work.
Okay, you don't use HDMI.
No.
This button is not working. Why?
I don't know. Is it not the one there? That's it.
There's no eye.
No, the one. Wait, I make it WI. You know the one there. I doubt I did this, but let's see. It didn't work.
Okay, guys. So as they are setting up the
I think I'm ready. Let's go to Kahoot IT.
How do we do this?
We call the
Nah.
people then.
Like how we do this? The question.
The question was okay.
Yeah.
So I think the most important part of Kahoot is being fast. Is there anyone without a fast internet access? Yeah. Questions.
I didn't hear you.
So let's see. I think my head is if your yours is fast, there's no need because if this person is correct, you will go down. I think just so Pascal, just share to share with common person. Help me do the sharing. Let me say. If your network is slow or if your network is not going through,
You cannot reset it.
I can.
Reset it. Let me send the receipt.
Yeah, let me do that.
I want to do something else. Since you say, okay, reset from there, then you can log in again. But
Email is not the same thing. Email. Kahoot IT did from Kahoot.com.
go to Kahoot.it.
No, nothing they are playing.
Go to Kahoot.it.
Log in. So this is new. How can I log in and tell me? I think it's going to tell me that this stuff done.
What account did you use last time? The same one.
Yes. But let me four. Okay, so let's do it from there. So, are you displaying? I mean,
I don't want to log in. I don't want
See, I don't have anything to say. How about that one I saved?
Exactly.
Yeah. You look like your own hotspot is slow. You need to connect to mine.
What's the name?
Yeah.
You bought a new phone? That S series.
Is this one?
Fuck it.
So is there anyone that actually has a phone network? Most of them are using that and Wi-Fi. Is there anybody with a phone network? No. So let's just put. Okay. Because when we start the game, I'm sure many people say it's unfair because the network cannot go. So we are trying to make things even though the fun of the game is poor networks. Just is what it is.
It's slow.
The other is still slow.
Get your own now.
Then go back to yours.
Alright, yeah, right.
Yeah, have you logged them? Okay, go to this one. What?
Library.
Yeah, library, yeah, library. You can play. Yeah, host.
Classic. A classic now. Player by player. Every man for himself. I tell you.
Yeah, so that would be. But when I don't like playing when there's no price. Like kind of places we are told, you get to the price, not pay the game. If I was playing the game, I wouldn't. Like, so don't go, what's the price? Now, you can even say there's no price. There's no price. There's no price. You do, even wow. Yeah. So how many are we?
The 11. Just check. Hold on to see if people who are. I will be proud.
I think I have a lot of
Phone? Ah. Hey. Hold on now. How can I go start again? Hold on. I did.
So, some computers programming, some not, some before.
If I see the one I don't understand, guys. If I see the one I don't understand, I don't understand, I will stop screaming.
So let's
Hold on.
And now, that's the other. Anything there. Take it out, don't help us. Which other end is here?
Yeah, I think the end is I don't know why you want to do it. I'm playing the important.
Yes. It's important now.
I mean, if you have hired one boss going to a medicine, everybody has a friend that one.
Like say you know go. Good to go?
Yes. No, wait. No, what's the problem now? If it was good boss, I'm going to disqualify football. Yeah.
No. Whatever his position is the ceremonial. Ready? All right, we go.
What one they want the last Copa America? Brazil, Argentina.
I know they play again.
I remember your team was
I've gone out.
No, please don't do that. Only 4 persons. So who is not in the chat? Well, don't worry, it's time to see outside, so don't get into it. Who won the last big brother Nigeria? Bamba,
Sorry.
Yes, the idea is I need to do something that someone gets.
Sorry.
Everybody goes.
Unknown alloy. Finally, it's time to BIS, Who's the guy run?
What's the good package of dollar? I think
Who's the guy run? Who is the guy? Who is the guy run? Indomie code, Jollof code, spaghetti code, carrot code. Why are you saying the right answer? You know they change everything. Now your way of score will remain the same now. Now here go come down. Now here. We want to talk at you. Ceremonial winner, sir. Guy, I didn't tell you. Something is wrong. The you know they did this before. Hold on. Gold is not. You got thought. All right. I don't understand. Not good bug. Not good bug. Not good bug. I don't know. This is great. Somebody is dragging back. Somebody has gone so bad. Wait now. We don't see the full report. No gift again. We must see the full report. The full report. Yeah, so we can wait right now. So let them know to the game board. So the game will not be able to get it. So I'm going to well, I have a question. How are they ranking this stuff? Time. And based on your internet speed or your own speed. Your own that sounds like a huge problem. That is not fair. That's why you have to drop. Now the report is this too. Is there like any player? Well done. I don't follow that play now. Ah, wow. Now, so you do the look like now. All right.
All right, guys. I think we have some going. So let's now going to invite the owner of the just 5 minutes. Can I ask now? Yeah, you can answer.
We know the answer here.
Let me. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. Well, I've been hearing the wonderful interactions going on, and enjoyed the moment. I was like trying to find out what it is all about. Where it is. Well, without much about nothing, I do know very well that there is a group of people with a common goal and focus and end towards enhancing our future generation. My name is Engineer Pastor Victor and by God's grace, we have put together our hands and our strength together to make this environment for people like you and others that may find it unworthy at any given point in time. Center is called now take off. Now take off is simply just an acronym of New Owerri Technological Corp. We thought of trying to come up with something different and something unique in the town, given by what we are seeing. I'm not an ICT person, so to say, but given by the trend of events and life currently, I feel that we have to find a way, we have to keep into that direction. And on the strength and that urge, this venture was born. As a matter of fact, every or much of the reasonable hours of our day here and virtually is spent with men and women of your caliber and in your pedigree, trying to put steps together and see how we can make things work in an uncommon and unusual manner, the interest of our immediate environment. Of each one of those proceeds and the fruits is also having you here, for whatever purpose and whatever reason. So now take off is just one of those outfits that is necessary and important to actually put our resources together and garner all that we can in our ambit
see how we can add value to our populace, our people, and our environment in the area of the ICT and its related operations. Thank God, one of you who has been with us, the person of Joy, I call her my engine hub. She has been doing wonderfully well here. I want to thank her especially before you all. Not quite long Joy has been with us, but ever since the inception, and that's our guy joined here. They have been of immense support to the hub. I must appreciate them, Gospel, all of you. I must appreciate them for their input so far. We are not stopping here, and our ultimate and our ultimate goal is to see how we can leverage on what we have to reach out to as much as we can and add value to their lives, especially in the area of ICT, with which or through which they could also reach out to the extended and the larger world and be of great and immense value to all of us. As we all know, the world is going or has almost become a global village. So in all we do now is like everybody, irrespective of your distance, looks as if that we are just 2 meters away from me. And I quite appreciate that. As the Google Developers Group, the name goes, I have a little understanding that what you are into is what the current generation and the century cannot do without. As a matter of fact, I urge every one of you, no matter where you are present from, to please go extra mile, do more work. We are not doing it for any person's side, we are doing it for yourself and for our own selves. Because I know very well that what you know gives you added advantage over another person. So we encourage you, we will support you, we will be part of you in ensuring that the better society and the better world in terms of ICT expectations are achieved and realized. How do we do that? In one aspect is just by calling networking. Another person might choose to call it collaboration. They call it, it's all about relationship. There must be relationship. Because no one man succeeds alone. You need me, I need you, we need some other persons out there. We need the man on the road there in order to do what? To move to a greater height and a greater level. All we are working in life is towards success by the special grace of God. From any angle we are operating from any direction we are working from, our ultimate goal is to ensure that there is an added value to life and the simplifying, our style of life, livelihood, and at the end of the day, achieve an optimal livelihood style that will be of immense support. So having said that, I want to specially, and on behalf of the management and staff of Now Take Hub, welcome you to the center. And also wish to reiterate that the center is there for you, for an outfit like this, because we need to romance with one another in order to actually get to where we are all going without being selfish. That is why the management deemed it necessary to embrace this group so that it will be our own little contribution and support to your vision. So that in the end, everything will be harnessed and the result will be to add and increase value. So having said that, I want to, on behalf of the now take up, the management and staff once more, welcome you and wish you a wonderful dedication as you go into this mission. Thank you very much and remember blessed.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your effort in making this event wonderful. So we really appreciate it. All right, so the next thing we have in our agenda today is a topic life after talk. I don't know. Who has this profile? Okay, that's what we want to discuss now. So I don't know. As a developer, hearing about that, maybe most of us this is what we're so even thinking about the concept, what this is bringing the trade. You understand? So as developers, as local developers, how can we how is this going to affect us? So Sakura is going to attend our course this week. So let me just have a general understanding of what this is all about and how it will affect us. So Sakura
hello. Good afternoon. So I've said a lot of discussion about the digital co-pilot and how we cope with life after the digital software. Next slide. All right. First question is what is the digital co-pilot? Now, this is the definition of digital co-pilot. So we'll just run through it here with. The digital co-pilot is called by Codex, the new AI system created by OpenAI. Digital co-pilot understands significantly more context than most code assistants. So the person is not that is a code assistant, right? So it understands significantly more than most code assistants. So whether in the doctrine, comment, functioning, or the code itself, the digital co-pilot uses the context you have provided and decides the code to match. Together with OpenAI, we are designing digital co-pilot to get smarter at producing safe and effective code as a robot. Now, it's too long. Now, I prefer that when you're trying to explain something to me, you show me some kind of graphic or visual stuff. So that was the next picture as well. Now, this is an example of co-pilot that works. It generated the code. Now, the next slide again. So you see that it is not just for one language. Right? It's playing. It's not playing. It's not playing. Actually. No. You go back. Okay. All right. So we get the basic idea. You state what you want. For example, go back to the first one. For example, you say you want to send a tweet. It will automatically generate a function, pass in the parameters for you, and write the code inside of it. Now, the question is, they developed this. What does it mean for us? Like, what? Two. All right, how does it work? So basically, for years now, we've all been enjoying it free public repository. What happens? Instead of using our public code, train their system, generate the code for us anytime we want it. So basically, we funded and we generated the same for GitHub because they're using the data we have stored on public code basis to train and get exactly what it is Copilot. Wow. Now, we have other. Next time of do well through the test application. Now, we want to know, we've heard a lot of us code pilots, they want to understand what it's not. First is that it doesn't generate the code. It's funny, but it doesn't actually generate the code. What it does is this. A lot of people around the world have written the function to tweet a million times. So it just gets the string, says, okay, this function does what tweet. It goes around and it checks for all the functions that have been tagged something about tweeting and gives the closest match. So it's some sort of copy and paste like you do in Stack Overflow. Right? So that's the very first thing. It cannot write code. It understands, imagines, and it pastes for you there. Now, secondly, this is not a software engineer, so you're safe. Your job is not to jeopardy. Why? For now. For now. I think not now anyway, right? Now, this is it. For now, we focus on only generating code for a specific function. So say you're writing a program that sends a tweet and then sends a Facebook post with maybe a response of the tweet. It is not designed to know, okay, it should return a class stop for your Facebook code to do the other stuff. I don't know if you understand it. So it doesn't understand the scope outside the function. So for now, it's just like you're building a helper function. Now, most importantly, it is not a debugger. I want us to skip. Look at another thing. I want to show something. No, keep going. All right. Read. This is on the Copilot website. Copilot doesn't actually tell the code. It suggests it. So the code might not even compile or run. It's something you should know. Okay? It is still in the testing phase. So there are a lot of things about it that is so unstable. So it doesn't debug your code. So for now, our jobs are pretty much safe.
For now.
Let's go back. All right. The last important thing is that it is not self-sufficient, right? So it's the system, the machine learning algorithm is something that learns. It doesn't learn from itself, it learns from others. So it needs you to train it on. It makes it mistake. It needs the developers to write code, possibly correcting it or improving it, but it's not that system you want it to be. Right now, it's still in now, hold on. Let's go. All right, like I said, it's also huge repetitive code, so it's not like that it's generating any code for you. It gets the code. It's just like you're building a software now, and they're like, okay, I want you to calculate. Okay, very recently, I was going out for someone, and the person asked me, okay, I want to calculate this and thing. This longitude and latitude and that longitude and latitude, right? Now, off the top of my head, I've not done that before. But if I see a function that does that, and we want a certain type of thing, I know how to do it. What if we go to Stack Overflow and copy code? Let's not lie. Now, this does it for you. You're not that strong. This does it for you off the shelf, right? So you just copy the code, paste it for you, and with how it's designed now, there are multiple options. So you can get there where you write out the description of the function, and it gives you 4 or 5 different instances of doing that very same thing. So, all right, yeah, this is what I was telling you. It has been trained with the public repositories on GitHub with a variety of licenses. So if you like, use MIT license or whatever, try to public. Open. No offense, sorry. So it's training it and it gets better hopefully. Let's go. Not so good, I like my job. All right, what do we need to appreciate about Copilot now? The thing is, there's something we need to understand here. First of all, it's a relational coding. There are some things as a developer that for every single software you build, you have to repeat. A very common example for me is for every authentication, I must send an email. Every single time. So what I do now is just create a template I'll wait for the front end to generate whatever type of HTML template it is, and I'll simply say something like, welcome to project name. Right? So using something like Copilot to help you eliminate repetitive coding and it only makes you now focus on the meat of the matter for that particular application. So the main your business application, you don't have to spend hours trying to build sign and sign up. And it's not on that generic level, unless there's something special about the one you build. Now, it has also been said that Copilot shows promises for trying to help process coding assessment interviews, such that instead of a scenario where you write, because you tell someone to do a coding interview, and I will write it different from how Pastor write it and how people will write it. So the different ways to write it will now lead to someone actually going to test it. But with the aid of Copilot, he knows exactly the kind of response to get and knows exactly the kind of parameters to, let's say, expect taking in. So it can automate the process and make the hiring process a lot faster. So that's one of the ways to help us. Now, there are a lot of things in here, and we don't know like how far they can go or how limited it is. Because like I said, it's less than 2 months old, I think. So it's pretty new. At first, it was shocking, but I mean, one thing we know about technology is that if you do not join the train, you stay behind. We should, even though it's annoying, try to get to the trend, utilize the good part of it, and of course, it doesn't put us out of a job. That's the final thing, because for now, it depends on our data. And I know people will be like, you stop giving this data, right? How long will you do that? I feel the best thing is actually get the time and utilize it to give it, because I mean there are different things that can be possibly used here. We can find out and get that. For more information, you can just go pilot of GitHub.com and you can get everything about the Copilot project. Any questions? Yeah.
So the question is, wait, it's not a code generator. You need another mic. Only another mic. That's right.
Yeah.
So actually, we have another mic. So we will offline it. So then get it out. That's right. So just what is that? Or trade or laptop.
No. So it gets from your GitHub repositories, and I think it's online because like the few people who have had access to it and share all these things, it's actually a get code plugin. You have to be online, and when you write out the code and wait for that, I think it's just like it generates, so you can now press that and switch to different types of codes you want.
So it's about
As it is now, yes.
and that's the one thing I probably
Unless you don't change it over now. I mean, you see how the future will have to go, right?
Remember, I told you I need to do that.
I'm not an engineer. I'm not last I checked, it's supported across like 5 languages. There's no support right now for C#, which is the major language they're trying to add. Java, JavaScript, PHP, Ruby. Yeah.
Actually, my question is, I don't know. The thing is, that means for you to create a function, the name or the meaning code, for it to generate specific code for that function.
Exactly. It takes the name of the context.
Okay. Maybe I want to create a function for
Because else will be fine. Something else in the future. For now, I don't know what to do.
I know you're an AI person. You know we are training.
Yeah.
We keep training and training, get to the point to become better.
Now,
Understand
this is it though. The fact remains that for every new technology, it's not envisioned, it's not brought by machine because the machine is suited to what it knows. It's the human being that sees something happening somewhere else. Because the whole idea of innovation is see something happening somewhere else and fix it to a good idea. The machine can't do that. So it will only get better at what it knows. Okay. If you don't introduce new technology or no, as of now it's for 3%, right? I would say in a couple of weeks to be up to 60.
Yes. So the more we train, we start learning how to write code with good names, get better results, get better functions. Then in business, employers, we don't want to employ software.
You're working with the fact that
I'm getting to somewhere.
Go ahead.
So if somebody could just type away the function of code, so they might not need the normal developer. It might be someone who has that name and architect how to create it. You just write the names of everything, function, they read everything.
Just that, so, yeah.
You have to know.
It's one thing to know it's one thing to know what to write. It's another thing to know how to use what to write. Because when you think about it, right? So you write a bunch of like 5 lines of code, and all the cycles of code goes ahead to generate 500 lines. Now the question is, how do you make these 500 lines to work as one system? Copilot doesn't do that for you.
That's what I was saying, that instead of getting 10 developers, you get one man who can join one.
I guess that's the downside, sure, but now.
And then the name is Copilot.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so my question is, you said you have to create a function for it to let it go, right?
You specify the name of the function.
Yeah,
The name.
the function.
If there's a function that meets, this is not just like you can say get sweet. You can say get understood. It must not be the exact name, but you know how NLP works. Yeah.
So my question is, I was doing the project that I still after the function. Will it automatically call that person?
Exactly, yes, it does. It does. Copilot does that. Like how help me do those Copilot. Copilot does it on the phone. So the idea is this. For example, in Node, you want to say send a message with kilo, right? You come out there like specify bearer token of kilo, they go to something and come down and say function, send the message. If you use that bearer token inside the function.
So if you just send the message, do not pick down my project outside.
Yes. As far as it is necessary for that particular function.
So that particular
It's AI.
And it might not be correct.
Exactly. That's what we should understand. They said it straight up. It may not compile. So it will do the best it can. That's for you to verify because you may need to say like, okay, I need to go by the why is it failing? They didn't know it work. So you don't know they go by the
Yeah.
no, I just go make a
Most times, you don't want to technology. There are people who take this technology and they know so that they reach the global. There are people who use technology and they forget about it, those are the poor global. So the kind of people I know the things that took there and learn they are reaching global now. Like around right? And some of us we are saying they are difficult. And they also say that AI are things right? So if you want to be back and keep going, definitely now they are how people the money is going to be, right? So you can try to complain from that to like the do. Or you can try to move ahead and try to make money and build this process. So the job is yours. complain or complain on it. So there's no complaint. This is a complaint.
As you can see, pet is a verb used outside the function. It's positive. Just replace. Pet is specified outside the function. You tell what you want. You want this 7 centimeters. You use pet. It doesn't use another library. You use the library or the verb you have externally. Go down. Just go down. Down. Yes. All right. This is another example. You see, he specifies a structure you use. I utilized it as well. Right, so that's what Copilot is right now, and I'm saying it seems scary. Okay, just think about it. AI is something everyone thinks, okay, you get to do it, you're going to make a lot of money because of course data science in the future. But there's also ML. You put in your data set, you click, I want it to be classification system, this, and it does all of that for you in less than 15 minutes. Now, the data science crack is there, charge a lot of money, and also give the same result, if not worse. Do you say now that means that data scientists do not have a job? Every system has its limitations, and for now, we can't say to what extent it is. Let's see everything and then we can make a decision. With that in mind, I'll say thank you, and I'll put the end of this.
Thank you, for the wonderful presentation. So I have my thoughts on this as well. I was just saying, the first I really thought about like, okay. But okay, let's just look at this way. The way I'm seeing it is how to overflow works. Maybe I'm writing the code, then I enter the software, but I know what I want. You understand? I don't know like how to go about it. So what I'll just use my browser, open it up, write the problem. The first thing I'll just answer about it. Once I choose what I have in mind, I'll pick it up. And once I pick it up, first of all, I'll go through that. For me to pick it up, I know that this solution matches what I want, and I know what that solution is. So when I take it up, I can maybe bring it up to my phone and modify it the way I want. Then now I'm going to back the whole code work, everything will work. So using Copilot to do that now, for me, the one thing is to now discourage me from going to start overflow. So what I just have to type what I have in mind. I bring this up. If I like it, I can modify it, continue my coding. So for me, it's a welcome technology for my own business. Yeah,
okay, good day everyone. But one thing that we all need to understand is that the world is moving AI already works on artificial intelligence. Like I do cases advertising. Today now there is an AI software that you don't need to normally people pay people to do physical for them. But now there is something that you just use people do everything. Software will run the ad, do your budgeting and all that. I saw it today and I was like, wow. So this Copilot thing, yeah, it's going to take job from some people and it's going to help others. So you don't need to fight it. And some people that are advanced knows about this AI software for people, but they are hiding it so that they can sell courses. But it's just something that will advise everybody to bring on and keep on working and surely
So I believe it's open source, right?
I don't know at the time. I do not know.
So if it's not open source, that's about to be. I think it's GitHub that I use.
Yeah.
If it's not open source, if it's not yet open source, for me it doesn't make any sense. You don't have to.
Your camera.
All right, guys. Okay, that's the end of that session. So we have one more session before we wrap up for the day. So this one will be a virtual section, not really like live virtual session, not really like a video. So someone who couldn't join us today wants to have this session with us online. So I don't know whether you want to. Okay, so you'll be speaking on.
Can we get the audio? How do I share? How do I get the content? So you go to YouTube. YouTube, yeah. That's what it's saying, right? The history is more. Check. Correct. Exactly. Shift. Help me and shift.
So, the person that was speaking to Slogan the subject, so we'll be talking about improving your visa web experience, progressive application. So, like I said earlier, for increase of UA is another technology that WTM and visa experience of web application and so we'll be having a discussion on that. So with that, after this session, we'll just have the so
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Hold on. I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay, can you hear me perfectly well? Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Yedi Ashinosu Daniel. I'm a software engineer, technical writer, and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. Today, we're talking about something very important, which is user web experience. As developers, as engineers, we try to make sure that we give our users the best experience possible. And it doesn't only involve, or it doesn't only require we being an engineer. Even in other areas of life, we tend to give the next person the best experience he or she can get. And today, we're talking about how we can improve your user web experience using progressive web application. But I would like to start this discourse with a personal experience, and it goes by this. So sometime around 5 years ago, I used to be a science freak. Science freak in the sense that I always love reading articles. I love reading publications, materials generally related to science. And it grew to an extent that I started downloading applications on my then Techno P5. So I don't know if you remember when Techno P5 was like the major thing in vogue.
when we add phone of about 500 MB RAM and a storage of about 1 gig. When you download Instagram, you have WhatsApp, and you download 3 apps, what happens? The app tends, or the phone tends to freeze generally. So I add WhatsApp, I add Instagram, I also add another app, but I started downloading science. I started downloading things like physics application on Play Store, things like chemistry applications. Generally, I just love science, so I started downloading applications. And after some time, I noticed something. My phone began freezing, and later on, it crashed. What was the reason? Because I was using a very high chunk of the memory in the phone. And because of the fact that the phone could not facilitate such capacity anymore, it crashed. And ever since then, I never used that again. But looking at this scenario now, is there a solution to such problem, or should we just continue in that aspect? Well, there is something that would give us a better solution to that, but we would like to know that in our in as we proceed. Now, the next question is, what is PWA? How can we use PWA, and why should we use PWA? These 3 questions are what we're going to discuss in this session. What is PWA? Well, PWA is a progressive application is an application that is built with web technology such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and modern web API to create native app-like user experience. What this simply means is that we could have a standalone web application and also create a cross-platform application from it. All that is needed is for us to just visit the PWA website, install the application to our device, and we can use it. And the good thing about this PWA application is that it acts like a native application. Well, the good thing about it also is another fact, which is the fact that we could also develop this using popular frameworks like Angular, React, ASP.NET Core, Vue, and the likes of it. Looking at this image, what does it entail? Well, the first part, which is this section, is our native application. So there are languages like C, Android, Java, and we have all other native application languages that has been used or that is being used to develop native application. But creating a PWA just require you to have knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then your web API. Now, the good thing also is that the PWA application can also work on an Android device and also on an iOS device. If you are to create a native application, we would either use Java for Android, we could use Kotlin for Android, and then you can use C# for our iOS on it, or some other languages generally. But having a PWA, it only entails that we understand or have knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Is that not okay? Well, we'll get to know more amazing facts about PWA. If the next question is, does PWA increase performance? Yes, it does. Well, how does it do that? It helps you cache application assets more reliably. Application asset like your CSS file or folders, your images, your JavaScript. So what this means is that if you visit a site or a web application for the first time, it gets the asset, it gets all that is needed for that site to look the way it is, for that site to render the way you are seeing it, and then it saves it to the cache, it caches it, so that when next you're coming back, you don't have to reload, or you don't have to query those CDNs or those you don't have to search for those assets anymore. Why? Because it has been saved already on your device. Well, the good thing about it is the fact that it saves time of fetching, it increases the speed of application, and also give the user a nice experience. This also is also frequent in our country here because we have various shitty networks like Airtel, MTN, and sometimes we complain of, oh, my I have data, I have 1 gig, I have 2 gig, but I try visiting the site and it just keeps loading. It is not going, or it's very, very slow. Once we have visited the site for the first time, we don't have to depend on Airtel, we don't have to depend on MTN, we don't have to depend on our mobile network anymore because it has been pre-cached on our device. Now, how does it boost performance also? Well, big companies like Twitter said that it reduced, because Twitter also converted their application to their website to a PWA, meaning that you can also not have a Twitter application from Play Store, from your App Store, but still have an application from just the twitter.com. How? You just go there, go to the site, download it, or install it, and then keep using it like you actually downloaded it from a native source like Play Store or your App Store. And Twitter said that it reduced data consumption by 70%. Alibaba, another website, also professed that it increases their conversion by 76%. AliExpress had their own story. Washington Post, it improved performance by 88%. OLX, it increased their user engagement by 250%. OpenSook, Flipkart, Best Western River North Hotel, and the likes of it. So it has really, really helped companies generate more revenue, provide good user experience to their users, and also make everyone happy generally. Isn't that okay? Yes, it is. Well, going to the technical aspect of it now. What are some important terminologies in PWA? Well, a complete PWA should have the following three features, actually four. But let's start with the first one, which is a secure context HTTPS. The web application must be served over a secure network, which means that it has to be HTTPS for it to work. Being a secure site is not only a best practice, but it also establishes your web application as a trusted site, especially if users need to make secure transactions. This is a general knowledge. We have to like secure your site. Is also a good experience of the user, so that the user does not come back to complain that some hackers or the site has been attacked or something. So yeah, the first part is the fact that it needs to be secured. Of course, every site needs to be secured. And also, this is another very important terminology in PWA, which is service workers. What are service workers? Well, it's a script that allows interception and control of how a web browser handles its network requests and asset caching. Service Worker also provides web developers with experience such as creating things like push notifications, things like background sync, and other available juicy features. So next one is the manifest file. It's a JSON file that controls how application appears to the user and ensures that progressive web apps are discoverable. It describes the name of the app, the starter URL, the icons, and all other details necessary to transform the site or the website into an app-like format. Key features of a PWA. Well, this includes native app user experience such as offline usage, push notification, and device hardware access. So this means that some features or some companies uses features like like file storage or things that would help you connect with the hardware of your device. PWA also has that feature, and this can also help or enable the user or the developer develop good application for the consumption of the market. A PWA must be progressive and responsive. Of course, it has to behave like a native app, hence the need for the responsiveness and progressiveness. The next one is the native experiences. So it needs to act like a native application. It needs to give the user the feel that I'm actually using a native app, whereas he is not even using a native experience, a native application, but a normal web application. The key functionalities that separate a native app from the browser web app includes native user experience like app icon on the mobile screen, search in the app store, and push notification. PWA supports all these key features and others even more. I think I've discussed this before, but because of the importance, I just want to state that it's also a key component of PWA that allows an app to provide offline sync, local caching, and communication between worker thread and the main browser thread. Well, it also supports a wide range of technologies. What does this mean? Let's start with what the first sentence is. The only key difference between a PWA and native apps is the technology and where the app runs. A PWA is a web application and is served from a web server, while a native app runs on a local device, which is the key difference. Well, a well done and developed PWA can run locally, just like a native application, and it can also run on the server. On Windows and Android, the add to home screen process even compiles the PWA to a native app. So what this means is when you go to a website, a PWA for the first time, there's an icon for installing, right? It's called add to home screen for most OS. Things like Android, when you go to your when you open a PWA on your browser, your Chrome browser or any browser, you see something like add to home screen, a pop-up comes up. It just telling you that okay, this is this site, and then this site is also a PWA enabled application, enabled site, and you could also download the site as a native app on your device. Um, yeah, PWA versus responsive web and design. So this is just like what PWA entails. PWA must be responsive. It works on the web browser, and also it has to have like a good user interface. Design must be very cool. The next one is benefits of PWA. So we've talked about what a PWA is and some other key features of PWA, how it improves performance. But we'd also like to know some more benefits of PWA. What are they? Works on all device, works like a native app. Now, this part works like a native app. Bring us the story, the personal story I shared in the beginning. So I said that I was downloading a lot of apps from App Store, and then those apps were about 23 MB, 30 MB, 50 MB, and all of it. But the PWA app, the PWA application most times cost about 2.3 kilobytes. Now, just imagine you compressing or optimizing your size, an application size from 30 MB to 30 kilobytes. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, it is. And the good thing about it also is the fact that it works offline. You don't have to go to Play Store to get it. You could get it from the browser, the browser page. Same code base for websites and your application. What does this mean? So if I am building a PWA, I don't have to write a PWA for Android, a PWA for iOS, a PWA for desktop. No, it runs on just all devices. So I just need to write once and use across many devices or many operating system. Same code base for AI, which I've explained before. Faster development, so it saves the developer time. Instead of you having to write PWA for Android, PWA, you could just write a very good application that is PWA enabled, and then you could install it. The user could install it on their on their desktop. Some user could also install it on their iOS device, Android, and other OSs available. Less maintenance, deployed and runs on server. The key disadvantages, of course, almost everything that has an advantage would also have a disadvantage. What are the disadvantages? It's not native, it's a website, little behind iOS latest features, the learning curve, the low level resources access can be tricky. So yeah, the next point we'd like to talk about is just like a comparison. So a native app would function online, would function offline, right? The function offline for responsive websites. So most sites would not function offline unless it is being cached. You cannot go to I just want to look for something like Pinterest where you have images, and then when you don't have data or when you are short of internet connection, you visit the site anymore. No, it doesn't work like that unless it's a PWA enabled site. A native app also has push notification. Responsive website doesn't have, but a PWA clicks or mark check the box. A native app is installable on home screen from Play Store to your home screen. A responsive website, you can never install a website. It's not possible unless it is being converted into a progressive web application. Full screen experience on native app is common, it's possible, but you can't have a full screen experience on a responsive website. But progressive web app, yes, you can. Indexable by search engine, one place to another content, works across all devices. A native app, an app built on with using Kotlin or Java would not work on your iPhone X or your iPhone 11. An application built using one of those iOS native languages would not work on your Android phone, but a responsive website will definitely work on so far you have a browser. But what about PWA? It will work on Android, it will work on iOS, it will work on your desktop and other devices or operating system. No download required. Yes, you have to download the native app. You have to. You don't have to download a responsive website, and also you don't. You also don't have to download a PWA. You just have to install it on your system, on your device, and then keep using it. A PWA doesn't require updates. doesn't require updates. Yeah, because whatever is in the website, whatever the website is serving is what you get. But a native app, when you have version one of, okay, when you have version one of Twitter today, they could bring in another feature on the app, which means you have to go to the Play Store, you have to go to your App Store and update it. But what happens to a PWA? No, the sync is just so seamless. You don't have to download or you don't have to upgrade. You just sync alongside whatever is being rendered or whatever is being brought from the website. Companies using PWA. So we have Starbucks, and they have something to say about PWA. It increased their daily active users by 2 times. Uber, the usual Uber we know, takes less than 3 seconds to load on 2G networks because I said before, it caches most of your application content, most of your assets. So you don't have to load, you don't have to load your stylings, you don't have to load your JavaScript. Those images that are static, you really don't have to load them anymore because yeah, it is already cached, and then it will just once the user wants to make a request, since it's available on the device already, it just brings them back, it fetches them back. Tinder also talked about it, Pinterest, Forbes, Twitter Lite, AliExpress, Alibaba. So indeed, PWA is like a gift that keeps giving, and then it has really helped people, it has helped companies, it has helped developers, it has helped the users, and it has actually helped the web in general. This is something that we should all try as much as possible to look at and then feel like, okay, yeah, we could help the user. We could give him or I a good experience, a better experience by improving our technologies, by improving our application. PWA is one of those process or one of those two or one of those concepts we could use to do justice to that. Now, I've talked about a lot about PWA. We've talked about how we can use. What they are, the benefits, company that is being used, how it works, and then the next thing we would like to know is the user flow of a native application and the user flow of a progressive application. We'll start with the native application. The first thing, I go to my Play Store or my App Store, right? Let's say I want to download. Let me think. Okay, you want to download Twitter because I'm actually very active on Twitter, so I'm using Twitter as an example, as a case study. I go to Play Store, I go to App Store. First thing I do is TWITTER, right? It brings me the list of text or application that leads to Twitter. And then what do? I download and wait for it to complete the download. Once it's downloaded, it gets installed. After installing, I would still have to go and accept permission, and then I can use the app. What about progressive application? You just go to the site, click on the URL, and then go to your browser, click on the URL, and then either use the website or install my PWA directly. Isn't that wonderful? Actually, it is. So if you could count the process it takes for us to get a native application, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a PWA just takes about 2 process or 2 steps to complete before usage. You can see the difference. So it has saved time, it has saved efficiency, it has saved a lot of things. I'll give you an example. Some days ago, I wanted to use a payment application to get this unit for lights, for electricity, and then I had to. I didn't have enough time. I was very busy with work. I had meetings like in the next 5 minutes. Now, which would save me more time? Native application or using the PWA? Definitely native application. Well, sadly, it ended bad because I had to go through the process of closing my app store, finding it on app store, downloading it, waiting, installing, accepting permission before I could use my app to just buy electricity. But if I was using a PWA, what would have happened? Oh, click on the URL, use my app, easy peasy. So from this, you could see that yeah, it saves a lot of time, efficiency, it saves energy, and then it gives the user a good experience, a better experience than the native application in most cases. But this is not to say that using a native application is a bad idea. No, there are still some features that would not work or that are not available currently on a PWA or using a PWA. But native, since it's a native application, there's always like available features to use. I would want to start explaining them now, but yeah, time will take us. But we could try to see some advantages of native application over PWA application. They are there. Next one, creating a progressive web application. So now I want to know, since we've understood how PWA works, the benefits, we should at least see something. We are developers, right? And this is like a developer conference. So it's best we at least see some code or see some processes to creating a PWA, which is going to happen now. So if you can, you just go to this site. So I would go there, and then this is my GitHub repo where I have my PWA sample code. So because of time, I've downloaded it instead of having to clone it again. So this is so yeah, this is a simple progressive web application where I have my CSS, I have a font, my image, my JS. These are assets, right? And then I have my index of HTML, my manifest.json. So as I said before, it contains information about your progressive web application. For this demo or for this purpose, the name of my application is my PWA example. I also have a short name, PWA sample. I have a start URL which gets to the root since I want it to open from the home page. My app background color, my theme color, how it should display, and the icons I want to use. So these icons are a function of how the size of the screen. So I can have the source, the sizes, the type, and then the purpose of it. And then this is my service worker, which is like a script that contains the functions or how your PWA should work. So I have just two actions here, two events, which is installing it and fetching. So this, what this does is installing it from a, a website to my device itself. So I could access a PW on my laptop or my PC, and then I just visit it on my browser. Once I want to install it, I click on the install icon, and it gets downloaded or it gets installed on my desktop. Even if I don't have data connection, I could still access the application. Why? Because of this thing here called caching. So this stuff, what it does is it's I have my assets here. My assets are the file and folder that I have here. So for this index.html is what is here, my roots, my index.js, app.js, styles.css, my font, my assets generally. And then I'm saving them in an array called assets. So what it does is this caches open the caching process, and then since it's an asynchronous event, it's do is dot then and then the callback. And this add all method, what it does is get all my assets and then put them into my cache so that when next I want to use them, I wouldn't have to load them anymore. I just have to take them from my memory, from my device memory. And this is when I want to go back to the next time to fetch or to do something in my application. And I think that is all about it. And let's just try to see how it displays. Don't mind my oh sorry, let me just go to the so that it would look very let me go to the application itself because it's hosted on GitHub, sorry, on Vercel, and then this is what it gives me. Don't mind my design. Now this is a PWA, and when you go to the developer tab, then you see, oh sorry, this is I'm using it on incognito. Let me just go to um yeah. Now mind you, when you load a PWA on incognito, it gives you like a very bad experience. Just to note that. So you can see now, I can install this application. Once I load the site, once I visit the site, the website, and install icon shows. So it is asking me if I want to install this application as a desktop application. Now, before installing it, let's check some things in our dev tools. We go to our Lighthouse. Lighthouse. So Lighthouse is a tool made by Google on Google Chrome to test or to generate reports, audits in your application. You could get performance level, progress level of application, best practices, accessibility, and SEO. So let's generate our reports and see if our application is PWA enabled. I've actually seen it before. This install shows that is PWA enabled, but let's just, for the benefit of doubt, let's just see something else. So you can see that my application is PWA enabled. It is installable, which means I can install it. Web app manifest and service worker meet the installable requirements, PWA optimized. So when you click or when you check all these boxes, when you do all these performance or PWA checks, it gives you a very good application experience, and then you can now have an installable app. So let's say I want to install this application. I just go to the icon and click install. So you can see now I have a desktop application already. I don't know how to create a desktop app. I've never learned it. I've never seen it before. I don't know what Electron is. Electron is a language is a JavaScript framework for creating desktop app. But I've created a desktop app already. I can see it now. The same experience it gives you there is what it will also give you when you use a web browser, when you use an Android phone, when you use an iOS device, and lots more. Going back to our okay, then for further references or for resources, you could go to this link. I'll share a link to my slide, and then if you have any question, if you feel like I omitted something or I'm wrong at something, or I stated or I misquoted a particular statement, you could help me put me in the proper light. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Neil Ashino, I'm a front-end engineer at Bleep Billboards, and that is all for now. Thank you once again. And once again, I'm super excited to be speaking at my hometown, Owerri, and I hope possibly by next year, this would also happen, maybe in person, who knows. But until then, thank you very much, and have a very good and wonderful event.
All right, and this is a nice topic.
Does anyone have a question?
Yeah, we have like network creative.
All right, I think you don't want to
Network which you should be able to see what you can you hear? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying there's a slight network glitch. So all right, cool. Cool.
Can you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you're
Um,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, no, so we're having network issues and we can't
Okay.
even.
Okay, all right. So, that's about PWA. But let's go about. But like I said earlier,
Once
PWA, one of the
I'll try to.
to make your web application much more like faster. So, thank you, Chinonso, for making this section a wonderful one. I know most of us don't know, if this is the first time I'm about PWA, this is a good opportunity to like, once you go, just research on the price, something, you can certain things to, you can certain technology to learn. So, this is just like a review. There are other stuff that you can do, just on your own, since you haven't worked with your own you now know how it can be useful to you or to your application. So once you go from Friday, I heard a lot of resources online, both on YouTube, they have a lot of resources on PWA. Read about it. There is it can be very easily. There is nothing much to it. Just using it like and other stuff, you can easily come up with the PWA application. So okay. Yeah,
I know I may not be able to ask.
okay, that's my
Alright. So can you make the skill, say you the seven side
Okay, the thing now is, PWA is meant to work offline. It can work offline, right? So the working of offline, the aspect of working offline is, when you were talking, there's something you call the service worker. So that what that service worker does, what you do inside that service worker is, you cache your static files, your CSS, JavaScript, your own thing. So any particular thing you want to like make it work offline, just cache inside that service worker. So once you start caching, so whenever there is no internet, the page is still function. The whole static file is work, but it can't make external call. So for you to make external call, you must have to connect.
Alright.
Okay, one more thing, please.
On the money.
So, yeah, no,
I should go.
how to then you can use where to take and stay inside that building. Clean that way, everything is not going to be around in your house.
The reason I'm asking is somebody asked you can make the page that is using the website that the backend is using like a particular page, this slash about the about page, GWA. So I was talking about the website, where you
Hello, I'm checking them.
If you go to the manifest, you can, because the entry point is the first thing I would say. So you can also have, you can also have your five parts that you don't like cash your
Right, you don't want to have
okay, you also carry that particular page.
Hello,
I would you to try that. So the point is you have to start from the
yeah, you hear the person interrupting
The voice is low. Can you type what you yeah, send the message.
Yeah, so you can ask about I don't really know limiting moving the which part and having I don't really know that. So I think okay.
just request and render the
Okay, I'm also going to another one and
show the different.
so I think it's something you need to like try out and see how it like I don't know I don't like talking about what I don't find out. This is what I find out, tell you this is how it will have things work. So for this just like it's not something I do.
I want to add something.
Okay, guys, I think it's the end of the event.
That is really bad, bro.
I hope we learned. So I hope I hope we learned something new. So I know a lot of things we are necessary when we care about when you get to try to learn more about it. So thank you everyone. I pray we get back home safely. So I'll call up our lead to give us the final remarks before we get started.
I don't know about you, but I think I'm really glad that this held today. Like after all the postponements and all that. So I'm really glad this held today and you can just call it that. You can just call it today. And I don't know if you really had fun today. At least I think there's a lot of pride, see? Yeah. Okay, take it. Okay. So that's it for today. We spoke about technologies around Google, that Google Owerri extended, and we talked about mostly about what anyway. And well, it's all it's not just it doesn't stop at talking, also has the green part. So I believe it's now that for us to kind of go back, go more and study about the things we have to do and also research more and also get back better at what we do. And trust me, one thing we are sure of, or one thing I can assure you of is that the community is here. The community is here for you. So anything you need to verify yourself from any other thing you need to really know about and all that. That's why I don't know if you're also on the group chat and all that. So anyhow it is, we are there to support you, and we just want to say, I just want to say thank you, and thank you again for showing up today. Thank you for making it possible today, because without you, there won't be anything here happening today. So thank you for today. Thank you for coming around, and then hopefully next event will be way better than this. Well, this is the announcement on our channel. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.